Hello and welcome! My name is Hendrik and welcome to a new tent sessions episode. Today with the ultralight Bonfus Duos 2P, a Cuben fiber shelter with 2 doors, 2 vestibules and plenty of space. If you are familiar with my earlier tent session episodes, you are aware that this is not a review. In this video I simply show you the shelter, the inside, how it looks from the outside, things I like and things I don't like, and let you make up your mind if this shelter is something for you. So I am not judging it. In that sense, let's jump right in and pitch the Bonfus Duos 2P. Before I start pitching the Duos 2P, a quick disclosure. Bonfus was so friendly to send me this tent for free, but I did not get paid to make this video and there are no obligations that I need to say something specific about this tent. I am free to do with it what I want and tell you about it what I think is good and bad about this shelter. In that sense, a big thank you to Bonfus for sending me the Duos 2P. I am very much looking forward to using it more in this summer and autumn, and then maybe in the autumn have a little review about the tent after I've used it in our Scandinavian seasons. But now let's pitch it and see how it looks. So the Bonfus Duos 2P pitches with your trekking poles or optional poles that you can buy. It doesn't come with any poles automatically, and it also doesn't come with any stakes, so you also need to buy these yourself. It needs a minimum of 6 stakes, so 1 for each corner and 2 for the door, so 6 in total. But as there are 14 guy out points, you can stake it down with up to 12 stakes. So be aware that you need to get your own pegs and trekking poles when you get this tent. It's fairly easy to pitch and I am going to show you how that goes. How do you like the Bonfus Duos 2P? Let me know in the comments underneath and remember to give me a thumbs up. So this is the Duos 2P stake out in all 4 corners in a rectangular square. Now I'm going to enter my trekking poles and then stake out the doors. and that is the Duos 2P pitched. As you saw, it went pretty quickly. Once you have down the art of pitching in a square, it's then just putting the poles in and staking the doors out. As you see, there's quite a big of a catenary cut at the roof, so if you want that there's a little bit more headspace, then it is a good idea to pitch out the top corners of the door. That way you generate a little bit of more headspace inside of the shelter. And then you also have here on the big side doors the guy out points, and if you want to save weight, you can take these guy lines off. That would save anywhere between 20 and 30 or more gram. For the moment, I am not going to bother with pitching out the extra guy lines, but if you are out in very high alpine environments or very severe weather, you can be resting assured that you can tie down this shelter really well and that you don't need to be afraid that it flies away. So now that we have seen the Bonfus Duos 2P from the outside, it's time to head inside. One thing that you probably see right away is that there's no zippers on these doors, but that they are with these toggles kept together. And because it is an overlapping design, it's also weatherproof. Then you can just easily fold up the door and have it out of the way when you are moving in. The Bonfus Duos 2P is, as the name suggests, a two-person shelter, so it has two doors and two vestibules. As you just saw, these mesh doors are really big, and while the outside fly sheet and these doors are pretty steep, the vestibules are spacious, so it's pretty easy to put your 40-liter backpack or bigger in there, and then you would have over here space for cooking or just chilling and enjoying the evening sun like me. As you likely have observed, the Duos 2P has two massive mesh doors, and these mesh doors are opening all the way off the shelter, so it's really easy to access this side of your vestibule from inside of the tent. So often mesh indoors only go till the middle, and that makes it more difficult to access the gear that is over here. So this kind of a really wide open mesh door is really nice. I very much like that. What's also very positive about these really big mesh doors, and also the mesh that we have over here at the foot end and the head end of the shelter, is that the condensation, so the moisture that you breathe out during your sleep or while you're sitting inside of the tent, is able to move out with the wind. So the wind is able to move in over here and travel out over there and take a lot of the condensation with it. Of course, also up here we have these two vents in the peak that you can open and close depending on how much you want to have airflow inside of the tent. That is always very useful, because usually the warm air with the moisture travels to the top of the shelter, so if it's up here it is more easier to escape outside. Also, if you are sleeping on a thicker mattress like this Big Agnes Q-Core SLX insulated, you don't need to be afraid that you would be touching with your feet or your head or your quilt the fly sheet, because there's still quite a lot of space between my feet and my head to the fly sheet. So it really is a very spacious shelter. Now the Bonfus Duos 2P, as you're seeing it in this video, this is the 75 gram per square meter Cuben fiber, and this is the spruce green, and including the stuff sack over here, this whole package weighs 674 gram. Not included is the little repair kit and extra guy lines that come with it. So there is this Cuben tape that comes with the shelter, so if you have a tear or something, then you can fix it in the field. That's a very nice touch. The shelter, as you see it over here, costs 680 euros. Availability is around 3 months out, so if you order it today, you should get your shelter in 3 or 4 months, depending on what it says on the website. So don't trust my word, but check what the website says, and it might be a lot better again in the winter when less people want to buy a shelter for hiking and backpacking. I really like this shelter. I think it's really nice and easy to pitch. There's a lot of very clever features, like these very big mesh doors and the superior interior space. Some things that I need to get used to, or that I don't like that much, is that it's quite difficult to close the doors from the inside because of these toggles and the overlapping system, but it's probably just something that you need to get used to. Another thing that I am not very fond of are the very short guy lines over here. Again, this is like 10 centimeters or something like that, and in my opinion that is way too short. They always should be at least 20 to 30 centimeters. Yes, it does add weight, but it makes the usability of the shelter so much better if you have more guy line to play around with. And of course this is something that I can fix myself, but that is really something that I would wish is coming straight from the manufacturer, and not that I need to go and pimp the guy lines on my shelter. Other than that, I really enjoy this shelter. I am looking forward to using it alone and with my son or with my daughter when we go for overnighters this summer. And I will probably also take it to Lapland, because these really nice big mesh doors should be really great to keep me sane with all the mosquitoes over there. I hope you enjoyed this video about the Bonfus Duos 2P. If you got additional questions, please don't hesitate and ask in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, leave me a thumbs up, and you want to support me, I have a Patreon campaign going, which helps me taking the time to produce these kind of videos. The link for that is in the description. As always, remember, life is better outside. In that sense, go and enjoy the spring backpacking and hiking season, and I see you in the next video.